but with a few reservations, Honorable Speaker. And of course, Honorable Speaker, one of the things that I'm usually very skeptical about is when government has an overbearing hand, and when we use legislation to overbear on the people, Honorable Speaker. Particularly the amendment to the NHIF Act, clause 11 of the bill that envisages to make it compulsory that a person who has attained the age of 18 years and is not a beneficiary shall register as a member of the fund. Honorable Speaker, if you read subsection 2 of that clause, it says that the minister may, in consultation with the board, make regulations for the better carrying out of subsection 1. Honorable Speaker, this to me is very risky, because you are saying that you make it mandatory for every Kenyan who has attained the age of 18 years to become a member of NHIF. That registration may or may not include, depending on what regulations will be prescribed under subsection 2, may involve people paying. And of course, you cannot be a member of a fund, NHIF, where you are expected to benefit from healthcare facilities, Honorable Speaker, and not pay. But we must ask ourselves, when we ask Kenyans who are 18 years and above, Honorable Speaker, and make it compulsory for them to be members of the fund and probably be charged a fee, be levied a fee, and of course you can see the penalties that are coming with these amendments. Also, if you look at the other clauses, the enhancing penalties be to employers and contributors, Honorable Speaker, then we'll be making it very punitive to the millions of young Kenyans who we have not provided jobs for, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, before we make it mandatory for people to join the fund, then it must be mandatory first for the government to ensure that those people are in gainful employment where they are earning a living and earning an income for them to be able to contribute to the fund, Honorable Speaker. 2, Honorable Speaker, if you look at clause number 24, Honorable Speaker, the other clause that I have very serious reservations on. Honorable Speaker, in the Nyayo days, in the old dark days of the KANU regime, Honorable Speaker, what used to happen was to exempt state corporations from provisions of the State Corporations Act and use those state corporations as avenues to loot public coffers, Honorable Speaker. I am afraid, Honorable Speaker, that today, when we are increasingly going back to those dark days, where we have an executive that is overbearing on the people, on the legislature, and even attempting now to overbear on the judiciary, Honorable Speaker, that the same attempts are being made now, not through exemption from the State Corporations Act, as much as you saw with the aviation bill, Honorable Speaker, attempts to exempt state corporations like KEA from the provision of State Corporations Act. But now we are seeing under this clause 24, we are introducing new ways, Honorable Speaker, of introducing...
The Honorable Ishungwa, your submissions are good, but the aviation bill, I'm aware that it has not come to this floor yet. Yes. Of course, Honorable Speaker, if you listen to me clearly, I was giving it as an example of what the attempts by the executive to use exemptions to the State Corporations Act, like was done in the old KANU days, Honorable Speaker, but probably is being tutored by the KANU regime. Maybe that is why you see this inclination. Honorable Speaker, I was speaking to clause 24, which is proposing to amend section 34 of the Act to mandate the NHIF board to invest in the procurement and acquisition of essential medical equipment and supportive infrastructure to empanel contracted healthcare providers, Honorable Speaker. The people who are empaneled by NHIF, Honorable Speaker, or who are contracted as service provided by NHIF are both public and private hospitals or healthcare providers, Honorable Speaker. If we are giving the board now mandate to be able to procure healthcare equipment, Honorable Speaker, not healthcare for a hospital that is being managed by that NHIF board. And you remember, Honorable Speaker, some time back, the NHIF board was involved in some scandal of land that was where they were to build a NHIF referral hospital in Karen, which today, Honorable Speaker, despite spending billions, has never been built. But consultants walked away with billions of shillings, Honorable Speaker. And therefore very skeptical when you now tell me that NHIF that could not invest in a referral hospital, Honorable Speaker, a referral hospital that an institution like Kenyatta University was able to invest in and build a referral hospital in less than in a period of about 3 to 4 years, a referral hospital that has been very critical now during this COVID time to help ease the congestion in Kenyatta and many of our private other hospitals, and a very good hospital, Honorable Speaker. But NHIF had that dream over 10, 15 years ago. It has never come to fruition, Honorable Speaker. It is this same NHIF, Honorable Speaker, that you are now mandating to now procure healthcare equipment. Is it the same healthcare equipment, Honorable Speaker, that we attempted to procure through the infamous MES or the Managed Equipment Services program that came into being in 2014, 2015, Honorable Speaker? If that is what we are to learn from, Honorable Speaker, then we must be cautious. If in this House we today pass legislation to mandate NHIF to go ahead now and procure more equipment, while we have the MES equipment that is lying in our sub-county and county referral hospitals, not in use, Honorable Speaker. And we are paying billions, forcing our county government to pay billions every year to providers of this least equipment, Honorable Speaker, and equipment that is not helping the people. And now we want to use NHIF to squander more public resources by probably getting the same tenderpreneurs who are involved in the MES program, Honorable Speaker, to now procure through NHIF. The same tenderpreneurs, Honorable Speaker, you can bet, Honorable Speaker, that the same tenderpreneurs who are involved in the MES scandal are the same tenderpreneurs who are involved in the COVID KEMSA billionaire scandal, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it is the same tenderpreneurs that we are probably opening up new avenues now for to engage in procurement of this healthcare, because of course you know there are those few who have now specialized in the procurement of healthcare equipment in this country. You have seen them even building hospitals across Nairobi.
The Honorable Kimani, just hold on. The Honorable Duale, what is out of order?
Speaker, you know, I really don't like interrupting members of parliament, and also of Honorable Ichungwa's caliber. But Speaker, there's element of relevance. I mean, I have read this bill when I was contributing, and Mr. Speaker, you need to help us, because Honorable Ichungwa is discussing EMS, discussing entrepreneurs, tenderpreneurs. I just, as he was talking, I scanned through the bill, and I'm not seeing anywhere where there's tenderpreneurs, where there's EMS, with a lot of respect to him, so that we move to this very important motion. He's a man who can flow like the sea. He's very, very sharp up in the mind, so but he can spare us sometimes, because you need to guide him.
The Honorable Duale, I have looked at the bill, and I think the Honorable Kimani is well within his rights, because there is a proposal that the NHIF will procure some equipment for some of these facilities. So I think he's